Good evening, everyone. I would like to read an article from our local newspaper that brought the struggle of suicide ideation close to home and even more of a reality to me. This article shows some thoughts on depression, suicide, and some classic signs and where there is hope in all of this. Hello and welcome to Friday's Hope. I'm Sue Barnhart. I am one of the elders at the Worship Center here in Northern Illinois. And Friday's Hope is about sharing hope with everyone, everywhere, no matter the situation, the circumstances. There is hope. There is hope. Here's the article. When the Dixon police officers were dispatched to conduct a welfare check on March 17th, they arrived at the scene to find a closed-up garage and an idling car inside. The three officers soon discovered this young lady inside the vehicle, unconscious with no pulse. They saved her life. They were saved by the police. And the woman shares the story to encourage conversation about suicide. I snapped that night, she says, about her suicide attempt. I just wanted to go to sleep, and I didn't want to wake up. Do you ever feel like that? Do you ever feel like you just don't want to wake up the next day or after the nap or whatever? If you ever feel like that, reach out and get help, because I have. I felt like that. I felt like I just didn't want to bother getting up. Reach out. Find some help. And here's what they put in the newspaper article time and time again. If you or someone you know needs help, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available by calling or texting 988. How many times have I used this? There's also an online chat at 988lifeline.org. They inserted this paragraph repeatedly through this story. That's how important it is. She said, I would like to spread awareness that suicide is not always the result of a mental illness. It's a sadness that no one can explain. Have you ever been there? I have. Where you're so sad and you can't explain it to anybody. You can't explain why it hurts so bad. But the person is the person who has faced the hardest decision, she said. She said she was struggling with grief for a family member and feelings of loneliness because she doesn't have any family and friends who live close by. Family and friends, listen. I can't say this enough. Listen. Reach out. Reach out. Family, friend. You haven't heard from somebody in a couple of days, reach out. Doesn't matter if they're doing something or not. Reach out. It is so important to do that. She didn't want to talk about it, what she was going through, because she didn't want anybody to worry. And then that night she just broke down. I guess we get tired. Have you ever been that tired where everything inside of you is tired? You just don't want to do this anymore. You're just done. She said, I guess we just reach a point where the bottom falls out, and I snapped that night. She said about her suicide attempt, I just wanted to go to sleep and I didn't want to wake up. We don't know who is suffering or struggling unless we reach out. You know, y'all, we use our phone for everything. Use it to reach out to people. Pick it up. Call somebody. It doesn't matter if they're upset with you or not. What if they're not? What if they're thinking about like what this lady did? Ladies and gentlemen, start reaching out to your family and friends. I don't care who it is. If you haven't seen them online, or if you have seen them online and you see something that just isn't right, reach out. Pick up the phone, hit a text, Facebook message, call, something. Reach out. Reach out. And then they inserted this information again because it's that important. If you or someone you know needs help, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available by calling or texting 8988. There's also an online chat at 988lifeline.org. She said, I would like to spread awareness. The suicide is not always the result of a mental illness. It's a sadness that you cannot explain. I think it was 72 pills that I took. 72. They had dropped all over the place, and I was just picking them up like candy. What does that tell us about us? About her, I'm sorry. What does that tell us about her? She was done. She was ready to just be done. Wasn't even thinking about it, just picking them up like they were candy. She wanted pain to end. Then she sat down and wrote letters to the people in her life and typed out a text message that she planned to send to her mom that night before she fell asleep. So she's reaching out to the people. Have they reached out to her? I don't know. And I might be wrong about this, but if she's sending things to people, have they reached out to her lately? Have they talked to her lately? And then she put together a text message she was going to send to her mom. The last thing she remembers, she was talking to my mom on the phone, and she said she was unresponsive, that mom said, you don't sound good. And she said, I know, Mom, I just want to go to sleep. I'm fine. I'm just going to fall asleep. Just going to fall asleep. After that, this young lady doesn't remember what happened. But she said that she was told later on her mom called the police. Thank God for moms. What would have happened if she didn't follow up? What would have happened if she didn't call or go with her gut instinct? She would have been burying her daughter and grieving for the rest of her life. Grief doesn't go away, ladies and gentlemen. Reach out so no one has to go through that. I had a family member that wasn't sounding right on her Facebook messages and posts, and I kept in touch with her. I knew she was going through something, and I was given tickets to a concert, and I felt like I needed to take her. I had no idea she was that upset or hurt, but she was that upset. We went to the concert. God used a certain song to bring her back to life. She was going to kill herself that night. Reach out. Reach out. I can't say that enough. Reach out. And not about what you are thinking or doing. Reach out about them. It's not about us. It's about them and what they need. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? I really, really am. This young lady remembers being angry with her mom and the officers who saved her. I don't want to be saved. It was traumatic for everybody. She was in so much pain, she didn't want to be alive anymore. She hated being alive. Can you imagine that? Hating being alive, not wanting to get up at all, and being angry that somebody brought you back to life? Here it is again. If you know someone who needs help, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available by calling or texting 988. There's also an online chat, 988lifeline.org. And this young lady said, I would like to spread awareness that suicide is not always the result of mental illness. It's a sadness that nobody can explain, but the person who is faced with the hardest decision. Here's a statistic from the police department. As of June 10th, now that's a month ago, this is July 10th, the department responded to 28 calls related to suicide. June 10th to July 10th. That's almost every day of this month. Every single day. Pelosi said that after that happened, her friends and family said such things as her, like, telling her not to do something like that ever again, that she should have called them. Make sure you put the guilt back on the person that's already hurting. No. Should she have? Yes. But she's already hurting and you telling her what she should have done? No. What we should do is be reaching out. This is what she said. However, that wasn't what she wanted to hear. I want you to hear this. I don't want them to just dismiss what happened. Some people say suicide is an easy way out, but in reality, suicide is the hardest way out. She added that other common misconceptions include that it's doing the family a favor, and that's a selfish decision. When you reach such a level of sadness, instead of crying, you just sit and stare into nothingness. She said that she would want her friends and family to ask questions such as why, what made her to do that decision, and be open to listening and offer support to say something like, I'm here for you. I want to help you. That's what she wants. That's what we all want. We want somebody to pick up the phone, text, and say, you doing all right? I'm here for you if you need anything. Every single one of us want that, deep down. I don't care if you say, I don't want, my private life is this, that, or the other thing. Yeah, you can be so private that you want to be gone. Reach out. In May, about 2 months after that night, this young lady says, I'm doing a lot better. She was able to sit down with the officers who found her and talk to them about what happened. During the conversation, she said they mostly listened to her. We have been given 2 ears and 1 set of eyes and 1 mouth for a reason. I'm going to tell this to you very nicely. Shut up. Listen to people. You don't need to share everything about your life. If I'm that sad and that upset, I really can't tolerate anymore. I just want somebody to listen to me. No solutions. No, you know what? That happened to my uncle or that happened to my brother. No. Listen to them. They just need somebody. They need to know somebody that cares. That's all they need. So she had gotten some closure by the police listening to her. I mean, she doesn't get sad. I don't get angry as I was. And she hopes that her story makes an impact. I'm going to say this a million times. If you or someone you know needs help, here we go. The National Suicide Crisis Lifeline is available by calling or texting 988. There is also an online chat, 988lifeline.org. And she would want her friends and family to ask questions, such as why she made this decision, and be open and listening and offer support by saying something like, I'm here for you, I want to help you. And these are my words after that sentence, and then put your words into action. Faith without works is dead, for those of you who are born-again believers. You can have all the faith in the world, but you aren't doing anything. It's absolutely dead. That's what Scripture says. Put your words into actions. There's hope when people are hurting. Reach out for hope when friends and family reach out to support and when we reach out to seek God. There is hope when people who are hurting reach out for help. When friends and family reach out for help, and when we seek God as well. One of the things is I thought about too, when she said, I want them to listen to me. I want them to hear what I have to say, and then we sit and listen. Don't make that conversation part of the family and friends chat group or the neighborhood chat group. If that person honored you enough to share their deepest feelings, shut up. Save it. It's not for you to share with anybody. They just need somebody they can trust. They just need somebody that they can go to and say, I need to talk to somebody. I need to see somebody. Don't be talking to family and friends about something that somebody just shared with you. You don't need to be doing that, and they sure don't, because then now it's going to get all over. And how's that going to help them? That information is only for you and for God. If you're a born-again believer, pray. The only person you need to give any information to is God. Period. Period. If you think they need more help than what you can, you find a reliable pastor or a reliable doctor who can reach out and help them. That's the only other person you need to talk to, if they talk to you about it. Some verses, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That includes becoming mentally healthy. We can do what it takes to heal from hurt and pain. We can, through his strength and through friends and family. Isaiah 41:10, fear not, for I am with you. Don't be dismayed. You know what that word dismayed means? The same thing that causes depression. It's a deep fear and worry. For I'm your God, and I will strengthen you mentally, physically. I will help you mentally, physically, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. You have that promise. Luke 1:37. Nothing is impossible with God. Nothing. Nothing is impossible with God. Everything can be done through his strength. Don't do things alone when you're this upset. Don't do things alone when you're struggling. Reach out to a trusted friend. Reach out to your pastor or your doctor. Call 988 hotline. There's help. You don't need to do life alone. No, you're not a bother. No, you're not going to worry us. No, you're not going to upset us. By the way, if they do share, don't be all upset and worried. You treat them with love because they're going through. I'm passionate about this, so I probably have not done this the nicest tonight, but I'm passionate about hearing somebody in my own hometown that tried to take her life. I don't even know this girl. Doesn't have to be. I really believe that. I really believe that. It doesn't have to be. I love y'all. I'm going to be praying for you. Maybe I'll make you happy next week. But I will be on this Facebook page next week at 5 o'clock. This will replay on Friday's Hope Facebook page and Friday's Hope YouTube channel. Y'all be blessed. Reach out. Love y'all. God bless you.